Hi everyone, my name is Chris Jacobs and I was in charge of the encryption for the project with Team Aviato. So the first thing I'll walk you through is our methodology, where we went over essentially our constructors, which allowed us to create a AES object, which allows us to encrypt in AES format, which is one of the most secure out of any other method. Essentially, we create a key, and then our key that is inserted will be a maximum of 16 characters. Now, the key that's entered is actually hashed, so that way it is completely randomized and cannot be guessed like a regular password. Now, as we go on, we'll start off with our encryption object here, our encryption method, and that allows us to first take our cipher and create an object within the Java cipher object, which will get an instance of an AES CBC with regular padding. And as we go through our regular object, we will cross it with a key and XOR it along with AES methodology made by IBM. So as we encrypt this, we will return our regular encryption object that will be completely randomized, but recreatable at the same time and reversible. And that walks us into our second encryption object, which will return a string. Essentially do the same thing as the first one, but return our string so that we can use it in the future. Now, our decrypt object essentially reverses the encryption methodology. So it will run the backwards version of our AES CBC padded object, and then essentially take our key space, XOR it with that, and then return our regular text using the key that is currently given. Without that key, it is almost impossible mathematically to return that object. And at the bottom of our method, we have our hash function, which allows us to take a regular MD5 hash, which is mathematically impossible to break, unless, of course, you were to brute force it using a graphics card or 3, and run through that. So essentially, we use an IBM created hash function, and we then return out whatever comes out of that function itself that is pre-made. I do not completely have a full understanding mathematically of how the hash function works, but we use a pre-made one in the Java cipher object. And that's essentially how our encryption works. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.